Howdy folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Xevoz Sectoid Bone Cutter Battling Figure Kit by Hasbro. Now, Bone Cutter is part of a Battle Terrain 2-pack that includes both Shadow Blade and Bone Cutter, and this video will focus on the Bone Cutter figure, while a separate video will focus on the Shadow Blade figure. Now, this Xevoz 2-pack originally came out around 2003 and was sold at least at 3 major retailers that I remember. It was either at Target, Toys R Us, or KB Toys. I can't remember this Xevoz being sold anywhere else. I'm sure it was sold at other retailers, but those are the 3 that I remembered. And this set sold anywhere from $8 to $20, depending on where you found it. Now, taking a look at the packaging here, the 2 packs came in this rectangular box-like packaging. And you can see a picture here of Bone Cutter. He belongs to the Sectoid faction, which is basically a bug-type faction. And on the side of the package here, you can see a description of the Sectoid faction. And here we can see a description of Bone Cutter. And on the back of the package, we have a whole bunch of pics here. We have pics of both the Shadow Blade and Bone Cutter here, and all of the gaming components that are tied to the figures. And we have a picture here of the 2 figures in the 2-pack battling it out on one of the 2 game boards that was included with this 2-pack. And down below we have 2 other Xevoz figures kit bashed together to create a unique figure, and that was one of the selling points of the Xevoz line, is the interchangeability of all of the parts. Now we'll be right back and have Bone Cutter out of this package. Okay, we have the contents of the Xevoz set here, and since there are so many individual parts for these figures, I like to put them in Ziploc bags just to keep all of the related parts together. And I have 2 Ziploc bags, one for the Shadow Blade and one for Bone Cutter here. And one of the neat things about Xevoz, of course, is the interchangeability of the parts and stuff. But also, they give you extra parts to customize your figures. And I already had Shadow Blade put together, and these are just the extra parts for Shadow Blade. But we're here to take a look at Bone Cutter. But before we do, we'll take a look at these 2 game boards. I never played the game, so I don't know how to play it. And these are 2 game boards that come included with the 2 packs. And they look like probably different, I guess, terrain types. This looks greenish, maybe a jungle type theme, I'm not sure on here. But you have various points on the boards, and this is folded right here, so you can see top and bottom half, or bottom and top half, I'm not sure. And they've got some statistics, looks like bonuses, depending on where you place your figures maybe. And you get 2 of them on this 2-pack, probably one each the home bases for the figures. But taking a look at all the parts that come included with Bone Cutter here, it's actually pretty neat. You can see a lot of green to this figure. And let's go ahead and take the contents out and take a peek at all of this stuff. We have here the sticker sheet for Bone Cutter. That includes stickers that you can apply to various parts of the figure, and you have different variations as well for these parts. And to customize it even more. And I never use these stickers, but You can if you want to. It's really up to you. And we have here the data file for Bone Cutter, and he looks very mantis-like in design, which is kind of cool. And you got some information about, of course, the sectoid and bone cutter there, and some possible configurations to build bone cutter there. And this folds out to what seems to be like a parts list, and also a potential assembly for bone cutter here. You can see there are different variations in the heads, some accessories, and some basic parts to put one possible configuration of bone cutter together. And we have here the layout of the sticker sheet, where you could apply the stickers on various parts of the figure there. Going over just some of these parts here. Just take a look real quick. We've got some wings here, bug-like wings. They're made of translucent plastic with some paint on there. So pretty neat detailing on the paint. And we got some various body parts. I'm not sure what that is. I'll have to refer to the guide. We have a nice accessory here. It looks like a scarab type design. And you can see some of the ball joints right here, which is what this Xevoz is based off of, ball socketed joints. So you can see some more of the ball joints there. And these fit rather well, excuse me. And also with these Xevoz sets, they like to include these gag pieces here, and this is a possible head configuration if you wanted to use it on there. It looks like we got an appendage here. It's kind of nice paint detail on there, and some spikes along there. It's probably an arm or a leg there. And you can see another ball joint there, and you can see a possible socket joint here. We have part of an end cap for the battle helix, which is basically a customizable die, and these are the battle helix. And these are game related, so I really don't know how this functions, and I don't really care to. I just really enjoy it for the figures. But I'm sure there is a proper method of using and setting up the battle helix here. I'm just putting it together to illustrate what the battle helix looks like when you have it complete. Basically, I guess you put all of the components that you plan to use for your figure here to assemble your battle helix, which is basically a die. Looks like a six-sided die almost. And you can see some statistics on each of the faces of this. I'm not sure what that is. But here looks like for the chest piece, armor skin. For the foot, it looks like a scratch attack maybe. Shin here, a spur kick, and axe for energy steel. So just various types of neat things, and I guess you roll it across, and then whatever comes up at the top would be an attack or defense, I guess. But for bone cutter, it's a greenish, of course, theme. We have here pretty much like a brass knuckle. Almost every Xevoz kit had one of these. This is the first one I've seen where it's translucent green, which is kind of cool. And we have here some more torso pieces here, and some more of the ball joints, and the leg, and just a whole bunch of neat little items here. We'll be right back and have a configuration for bone cutter put together. Alright, we have one possible configuration of bone cutter here, and I really like this figure a lot more than I expected, and kind of regretting not having put this guy together for almost 8 years now, and just finally getting around to playing with it. And it's a really neat figure, and it's a lot bigger than I expected too. And first off, let's just go ahead and do a size comparison, because this figure can get to various degrees of height, and just the way you pose this figure. And right now I think I have it posed about as tall as it can go. And I'll just use this here, the Alpha Ranger, which is about average size Xevoz figure. And you can see that the bone cutter is a pretty big fella when standing upright, which is kind of cool. And like I said, yeah, he has various heights depending on how you pose him. But taking a look here, I have this bone cutter slightly differently put together than what's on the basic guide here. And with this configuration, I do have some extra pieces, such as these extra pair of pincers or hands, or not really hands, but like mantis type claws on there. Of course, you have the obligatory brass knuckle, but this is really cool, of course, in translucent green. And I have two extra heads. You have the gag head here, which is a light bulb, and another insectoid type of head. And what's kind of cool about these heads, especially these two heads here, the eye area is actually a separate piece, and you can actually pull that out. Just get a good grip on this and pull it out. You can see it's a square peg on there, so you can actually change or alter these heads, so it's not just two separate heads, but really four pieces that you can do different configurations. So if you want to swap out the eyes with and use this head, you can, which is really cool. So it gives you a little bit more variety. Now taking a look at Bone Cutter here as he is. Now this is a multi-legged figure here, and can have up to what looks like 4 pairs of limbs, which is cool. And they're all connected to 3 parts of the body here. Really, if you wanted to, you could probably take this middle part out and just have it joined with 2 parts of the body, based on the peg holes on there. And on the recommended configuration here, there were a pair of pincers on the side of this middle portion of the body, where these ball sockets are, or ball joints are. But instead I decided to add it on to his shield here. There were a pair of ball joints there, and I just went ahead and placed the pincers on here, so he has an even more aggressive shield here. And this particular shield is semi-translucent in color. It's very cool. And that's a square peg as well going into the arm there. Very cool and very posable figure. And as you can see, he's got these wings here, semi-translucent with a little bit of paint, a little bit of like a metallic type of paint. It's got some sparkly colors on there. It's very cool. And I decided to go with this version of the head on there, and unfortunately these pincers don't articulate. They're fixed in position, but that's okay. And you can see some more of the details on his limbs. 2 sections for the limbs here, really 3 sections for the leg. Of course, you got the upper thigh, I guess you could call it, lower thigh, and the foot. And these 2 pairs of legs at the bottom are basically the same, but very posable. Like I said, because of the way this his main body is segmented into 3 parts, you really can get it into some really decent poses. Oops, looks like I popped a joint out, but that's okay. I could pop that back in. You can have him level down and just raise his upper torso here, so he's more closer to the ground, so that's kind of cool. Just different kinds of configurations. It's very neat because this is all based off a ball socketed joint system, so you can really get some decent poses on this guy. And just to go over some of the articulation, the head, of course, can go all the way around, can go up very high, down a bit, even side to side, just a wide range of movement. The arms, of course, can go all the way around. Let me just go ahead and move some of these pieces out. All the way around. The elbows can go in and out, all the way around. And the wrist here can go all the way around as well, and in and out. And of course the torso can go all sorts of positions on a ball joint. Just really can't go forward too much due to the part here that restricts the articulation there. Same thing with the middle torso, up and down, all the way around, and as well as the legs at the hip area. Just all sorts of range of motion, as well as the knees, and of course the feet, and just wide range of motion for these figures. And also the wings are on a ball socketed joint system, so you really can pose the wings all sorts of neat directions there. You can have them in mid-flight or have them all spread out. Very, very cool. And just having posed this guy in a whole bunch of different positions, it's actually quite neat. And if you get multiple versions of these bone cutters, you can really add on extra limbs here. You can add extra segments to the body. All these middle joints, you get multiple middle joints, and you can really have this guy elongated to various lengths, and it's just very cool. And just add different parts, even if you wanted to do a hybrid of this guy with a bone cutter, that's possible as well. So, but very cool figure. I like it a lot better. I just wish I had put this guy together earlier. I wish I didn't have to wait 8 years to put this guy together, but very neat. This is my casual peek into the Xevoz sectoid faction of Bone Cutter. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.